The birthday candles flicker in the low light, throwing little shadows over the untouched glass of Malbec right in front of me. I check my phone again. That makes 11 times in the last half hour. Still nothing. My fingernail taps against the screen, keeping time with the dull ache building in my chest. Should we wait a bit longer for your guests, Miss Vance? The waiter's standing there, sympathy all over his face, eyes darting from my 4 empty chairs to the little cake sitting in the middle of the table. Just another 15 minutes, please. I try to smile, but it feels thin and fragile. It's the 3rd time I've asked to stall, and we both know what that means. I smooth down my sapphire silk blouse, the one I blew too much money on, just for tonight. The fabric's cool, almost slippery under my hands. All around, people chatter and laugh. Glasses clink, silverware scrapes, and somewhere a cork pops. The whole place is alive with celebration, and I'm just sitting here, stranded in my own little island of empty chairs. 3 weeks ago, I snagged this table at the Gilded Vine, Portland's newest hotspot. I was still buzzing from finally landing $850,000 in seed funding for Verdant Bloom Company, my natural skincare startup. For years of 18-hour days, maxed out credit cards, and someone finally saw what I'd been building. Family dinner at the Gilded Vine to celebrate my birthday and some big news. That's what I texted to the group chat. Friday at 8. I'll make reservations for 5. 3 days. No reply. I sent a reminder. Just confirming dinner this Friday at the Gilded Vine. Let me know if you can make it. Another 2 days silence. Last shot, reserving table for 8 p.m. Friday. Hope to see everyone there. Nothing. Not mom, not dad, not Connor. My throat tightens. I sip my water, ice cubes knocking against my teeth. I shouldn't be surprised. This is just the usual script. When I was 14, Dad took Connor on a cross-country road trip for 10 days. I didn't get invited. Dad just patted my head and said, "He's a boy, he needs adventure. You just need stability." Stability, right? Like co-signing Connor's $22,000 sports car loan when I was 23 and drowning in student debt. When he stopped paying, I covered it so my credit wouldn't tank. Dad thanked me barely, while helping Connor install a custom sound system. Another sip of water. I try to swallow the lump in my throat. My family's always been there, but never in any way that actually counts. Not in ways that make me feel seen. Excuse me. I glance up. There's a man standing by my table, tall, salt and pepper hair, kind eyes behind tortoiseshell glasses. His charcoal suit fits like it was made for him. "I don't mean to intrude," he says, voice warm and steady, "but I noticed it might be your birthday." He nods toward the little cake with its unlit candles. My fingers grip the stem of my wine glass. It is. "May I wish you a happy birthday then?" I should brush him off. Instead, I hear myself say, "Thank you." He hesitates, then asks, "Would you mind if I joined you for a moment? Just until your other guests get here." Something about him, genuine, not pitying, makes me nod. I'm Elara. Julian. He slides into the chair across from me, sets down a leather portfolio. I'm a writer. Books about resilience, mostly. He smiles, eyes crinkling at the corners. Though I bet you know a thing or two about that already. Me? What makes you say that? The way you hold yourself. Like someone who knows waiting and disappointment, but hasn't let either one break them. I laugh, unexpected, a little sharp. Are you always this observant with strangers? Occupational hazard. He gestures to the waiter, who steps over with a lighter. May I? I nod, and the waiter lights the candles on my cake. Their glow flickers in Julian's glasses as he asks, "So what brings you here tonight?" All dressed up, waiting so patiently. I hesitate, but honestly, the truth is easier than making something up. I just landed a major investment for my company. Thought my family would want to celebrate. He gets it. They're running late? They're not coming. The words taste bitter, like burnt coffee. They didn't even bother to respond. Then they're missing something extraordinary. Julian leans in, resting his arms on the table. "Tell me about this company that got such a big investment," he says. For a second, I almost change the subject. But something inside me shifts. Why not enjoy this birthday, even if my family isn't here? Why not share my success with someone who actually cares? Verdant Bloom, I say, and for once the words come with a real smile. We make natural skincare. Everything comes from sustainable farms. I pull out my phone and show him our website, the sleek photos, our best-selling serum front and center. We're gearing up to expand production now that we've got this funding. Julian studies the site, nodding. Remarkable, he says, and when he looks up, his admiration feels warm, like sunlight after a week of rain. Someone should be celebrating your brilliance tonight. That hits me right in the chest. I blow out my birthday candles and make a wish, not for my family's approval, but for the strength to finally stop waiting for it. I say it out loud, almost a whisper. I won't wait for their approval anymore. I'm not sure if he even hears me. He just gives a soft smile. The hardest lesson is realizing that some people can't give what they don't have. The waiter drops off 2 plates of cake, and as I cut into mine, the words start spilling out. I tell Julian about Connor's car, about all the years I kept showing up for a family that rarely showed up for me, about building a business while my parents poured time and money into my brother's endless failed projects. I stop and laugh, a little embarrassed. The strange thing is, I think I still love them. Even after everything. Julian nods. Love and boundaries go hand in hand. The healthiest love needs them. We eat cake under the restaurant's warm lights, and somehow a stranger's kindness turns this birthday into something better than any family gathering I can remember. For the first time in years, I feel seen. And, honestly, that's enough. Morning sunlight spills across my balcony, turning my coffee cup rim gold. I breathe in the crisp, pine-scented air. Mount Hood stands sentinel against a cloudless sky. It's been 2 years since that night when Julian walked into my life, and the universe has rewarded my quiet stubbornness with more than I ever expected. My phone buzzes, a new notification. Someone shared yesterday's interview again, the one where I talked about Verdant Bloom's wild ride from my kitchen counter to an $18 million valuation. 300,000 views and counting. I sip my coffee, Ethiopian, Julian's favorite. The new face of natural beauty, reads one comment. If only people knew how a natural family can feel. Then my phone rings. The name makes my stomach clench. Mom. We've barely talked in 2 years, just obligatory holiday texts and the odd, awkward coffee. I almost let it go to voicemail, but end up answering. Elara, honey. Her voice is all syrup, like back at my high school graduation. Did you see my messages? No, I was just, Connor's getting married. Can you believe it? Our boy, finally settling down with Maya. We'd love your help planning the celebration. I grip the phone tighter. That's wonderful. When's the wedding? September. Listen, sweetheart. Your father and I have been talking. We think this would be the perfect time for a Vance family collaboration. Collaboration? The word hangs between us, fragile, see-through. Your brand with our family name. Vance Naturals. Has a nice ring, don't you think? We've always been your biggest supporters. The lie stings more than if she'd just insulted me. I glance at the ink magazine on my coffee table, my company profile staring back. I'll need to think about that, I say, my voice snapping into its professional shell. Of course, honey. Call me this afternoon? We hang up. Instantly, another message pops up. Connor. Hey sis, big news about the wedding. Also, my racing team needs a main sponsor. Only $180,000 for the season. Great exposure for Verdant. Let me know. I lay my phone face down on the table. Suddenly, the condo view feels lonely instead of peaceful. Later that morning, I'm in my office, scrolling through old family photos buried in a laptop folder. Connor at his graduation, Mom and Dad glowing next to his first racing car. My college graduation, just me, cap and gown, nobody else. They'd been at Connor's regional race that weekend. Another notification. A voice message from Julian. Just watched your interview. Brilliant, as always. Remember who you became despite them, not because of them. Dinner tonight? I open a new spreadsheet and title it Family Financial History. I start filling in the details, every loan, every gift, every bailout. Connor's car. The 8 months of rent I covered when he dropped out of college. Line by line, I write it all down. Dad's fishing boat, still busted from the time Connor slammed it into the dock during one of his I Got This weekends. I keep track of everything, every silent favor, in a spreadsheet that's now ballooned to $52,000. But this isn't about payback, I mutter to the empty office. It's about having lines in the sand. Martin, my CFO, knocks and pokes his head in with the quarterly reports. He notices my face. Everything okay? Family stuff. I tell him, and then, if my brother or parents ask about business or sponsorships, send them my way. He nods. Legally, you don't have to involve family in the company. I know, I say, and thank him. He leaves. My phone buzzes with a text from Rachel, my oldest friend. Saw Connor's Facebook post about sponsors. Let me guess, he's coming to you for help. They never celebrated you. Why back them now? I can't help but smile. Rachel always sees straight through the noise. Later, a courier drops off a card. The handwriting Julian's unmistakable. Inside, boundaries aren't walls. They're the foundation for healthy relationships. That sticks with me. By the evening, I've put together an email that's all business, no apologies. I attach the spreadsheet, every dollar I've quietly given over the years. I write, if we're going to work together, let's start from zero. No secrets. I hesitate, finger hovering over send. Is this too harsh? But then I remember my 27th birthday, candles melting in an empty restaurant, my family ignoring every message I sent. Enough. I hit send. Minutes later, Mother replies. Her message is angry, familiar. How dare you speak to us this way? Didn't we raise you to be grateful? After all we've done? I breathe in deep and start typing. Every word feels like I'm finally unlocking something I kept locked away for years. I was grateful, in silence, in money, in tears. Now, I'm grateful to myself for finally stopping. That night, Julian comes over for dinner. He finds me on the balcony, staring at the first stars above the city. He doesn't ask what happened, just stands there beside me, steady as ever. They want to use me, I say, finally. Not celebrate me. What do you want? He asks, voice gentle. I turn to him, and for the first time in years, I feel sure. To stop confusing obligation with love. He smiles and takes my hand. Then that's what you'll do. As we head back inside, my phone lights up again, more messages from family. For once, I leave them unread. A week goes by. I'm deep in a meeting, quarterly projections, everyone focused, when the receptionist's voice crackles through the intercom. Miss Vance, your mother and brother are here. They say it's urgent. My marketing director arches an eyebrow. Around the table, pens hover mid-note. I keep my face neutral. Tell them I'm in a meeting. I'll be out shortly. The intercom clicks again. They're insisting. They brought cake. I feel that old tension twist at the base of my neck. My family never showed up during those first 4 years, when I worked 16-hour days in a shared workspace. Now that my company fills the whole 3rd floor, suddenly they need to see me. 10-minute break, everyone, I say, setting my pointer down carefully. Greg, get the distribution numbers ready for when we're back. I step into reception. There's Mother, holding a bakery box like a peace treaty. Her hair's freshly colored, the same deep auburn she's kept since her 40s. The blazer, cream, expensive, probably cost more than I made my first month in business. Connor stands next to her, hands in the pockets of designer jeans, every inch curated casual. Surprise! Mother sings, lifting the cake. We wanted to celebrate your ink feature. No hard feelings about missing your calls lately. The receptionist is openly curious. 2 packaging designers peek over from the break room. I keep my face calm. How thoughtful. Let's talk in the conference room. Mother takes in every inch of the office, the brick walls, Edison bulbs, the rows of desks where my team creates products now sitting in luxury stores all over the country. Connor lags behind, stopping at our display case. He taps the glass over our top-selling serum. You must be making a fortune off these little bottles. My marketing director, coffee in hand, appears in the doorway. Connor flashes the same grin he used to breeze through college. Jessica, don't you look great? Still handling my sister's advertising? Jessica's smile never slips. Director of Brand Strategy now. Good to see you again, Connor. Really? I lead them to the small conference room, steering clear of anyone passing by. As we walk in, Mom's fingertip traces the edge of the walnut table. "This must have cost a pretty penny," she whispers, just loud enough to be annoying. When the door closes, I finally face them. "This is my office, not a family hangout. So, why are you both really here?" Mom sets down the cake, her face flickering with hurt. "Can't we just visit our successful daughter? No secret motives?" Connor flops into a leather chair. "Yeah, sis, stop being so paranoid." I look at him. "Last time we talked, you wanted 180 grand for your racing team. Time before that, Mom dropped hints about your wedding costs. Sorry if I'm not buying the whole, just a social call thing." Mom's eyes harden. "You've changed. Success made you cold." I stay standing, arms crossed. "I haven't changed. I just stopped pretending." Connor leans forward. "Come on. We're family. That should count for something." The word family sits there, heavy with old birthdays I spent alone, car loans I covered while juggling 3 jobs, and years when their energy went into Connor's dreams instead of mine. Yeah, it does count. Family should mean love with no strings, support without scorekeeping, celebration without keeping tabs. Mom's face tightens. "After all we've sacrificed for you." The question slips out before I can stop it. "What did you actually sacrifice?" "When I needed someone to co-sign my first business loan, you said it was too risky. When I worked 18-hour days to launch this company, you never showed up with cake. On my birthday, when I finally got a loan approved, your phones all mysteriously died at the same time." Connor squirms. "That's not fair." "What's not fair is using family as a bargaining chip," I cut in. "I don't need family who show up just because I'm doing well. I don't need cake when there's an ask attached." "We've always been proud of you," Mom says, but she glances at the door, already plotting her exit. "I believe you," I say, softer now. "But I can't pretend anymore. I'll always love you both, but my company isn't a family ATM. My success isn't some debt to pay off." Mom grabs her designer bag and straightens up. "I see we caught you at a bad time. Anytime you come with demands instead of real support is a bad time," I tell her. They leave with stiff goodbyes and will calls that sound more like threats. Through the glass, I watch them cross reception, Mom's back ramrod straight, Connor's walk tight with frustration. As the elevator doors close, I finally let out a real breath. My phone buzzes. "Julian, coffee after your ambush? Proud of you for standing your ground." News travels fast. Rachel probably heard from Jessica. Another text, my business partner, handling the afternoon meetings. "Take some time if you need it." 10 minutes later, my mentor calls. "How are you holding up?" Her voice has that knowing, worn strength of someone who's been here before. "Better than I thought," I admit. That night, I draft an email turning down Connor's wedding invitation. I attach a generous, but not over-the-top, gift card. I write some ground rules for future talks with my parents. My financial advisor helps me set up a trust, real emergencies only, not family wish lists. Done with all that, I pour a glass of Malbec and stand at my window, watching Portland's lights flicker. For maybe the first time, I get it. Boundaries aren't walls built out of anger. They're fences made from self-respect. Later, my phone lights up again. Connor's posted on Facebook, "Some people only care about money, not family." Within minutes, mutual friends start tagging me. The rumor mill spins up. I hover over my keyboard, a dozen comebacks swirling, none of them worth sending. Then Julian texts, "Remember, you don't have to defend your truth." I put my phone down. Dignity over drama. I'm done apologizing for drawing lines. Now I get to live with some integrity. 2 days later, that old Facebook post still stares at me. I've written and deleted my reply 14 times. People are already messaging to ask if everything's okay. The morning sun pours over Mount Hood outside my window, and I just breathe, letting the drama fade out, letting the new chapter start. I've been here since 5 in the morning, drinking coffee that's long since gone cold, thinking about what we leave behind and what we pretend. Every word I type, I go over twice. Family's not something you owe, at least, it shouldn't be. It's supposed to be where love doesn't come with conditions. I hope everyone gets to feel that, me included. My thumb hovers over post for what feels like forever, then I just do it. No big speech. No blaming. Just the truth. And then my phone lights up like fireworks. People from every corner of my life. Business school friends. Old coworkers. Even my third-grade teacher, who somehow found me online years ago. Stay strong, Elara. I've been there. You're handling this with such grace. This hit home. Thank you for being honest. I put my phone face down and let the apartment go quiet again. Funny how 15 words can feel like taking off a 100-pound backpack. Then the landline rings, that number only a handful of people have. Rachel's voice fills the room, calm as always. I saw your post. Are you okay? Better than I thought I'd be, I say. I sink deeper into my chair and watch a hummingbird zip around the feeder outside. I feel clean. And clean feels good. Rachel hesitates. Connor's losing it in the family group chat. And your mom called me, asked if I could talk some sense into you. I laugh, sharper than I mean to. What did you tell her? That you made perfect sense already. Rachel's smile fades a bit. Heads up, they're calling everyone. Your dad even phoned Mr. Harrington from the chamber breakfast group. The hummingbird freezes in midair, then vanishes when a shadow sweeps over. Trying to rewrite the story? Pretty much. Something about how they backed your business from day one, but you started pulling away after you got successful. I press my fingertips to my eyelids until I see stars. 15 investors believed in my company before my parents even asked what Verdant Bloom does. It took Inc. magazine for them to notice. I know, honey. Just wanted you to be prepared. Oh, and your mom's book club got the full troubled daughter speech too. The old weight drops back between my shoulders. Right on cue. After Rachel's call, I shower and dress with care. Sapphire silk blouse. Black tailored pants. Simple gold earrings. Armor for whatever's coming. At the office, Emma waits at the door, holding out coffee like a peace offering. 3 calls from Connor. Block again? Yes, please. I take the coffee. Any investor messages? Emma's expression shifts. Mr. Harrington from Cascade Capital called. He said your brother reached out about concerns with company stability. He sounded confused. Heat rushes to my face. Connor actually called my investors? I can't believe it. Call Mr. Harrington back right now. Set up lunch if he's free. 2 hours later, I sit across from James Harrington at the Gilded Vine. Same place where this all started 2 years ago. The irony isn't lost on me. I appreciate you meeting, I say, looking him straight in the eye. I understand my brother contacted you. James nods, leans back, eyebrows pulled together. He mentioned family issues affecting business. Said he wanted to warn me. He looks at me over his glasses. Not very professional. No, I agree. Family and business have always been separate for me, James. Always will be. He nods. Good. The quarterly reports speak for themselves, Elara. 22% growth. Hard to argue with that. The knot in my gut loosens just a little. Thank you for your confidence. James chooses his words. Your brother seemed to think you owed him something. Collaboration, maybe. Or help. I don't blink. There won't be collaboration. Smart call, he says, picking up the menu. Now, shall we order? The halibut is excellent. Back at my desk, I open the application for the Bloom Foundation, my new project for young women starting their own businesses. The blinking cursor waits, but it doesn't taunt me this time. I fill out the last few details and hit launch. Later, I see the confirmation. My $15,000 donation to the Oregon Driver Safety Initiative went through. No fanfare. No press. Just quiet action. My phone buzzes. My dad, your mother is devastated. This public humiliation is beneath you, Elara. I set the phone aside and pour a glass of wine. The Bloom Foundation already has a dozen applications. There are 3 new interview requests from business journals, all about growth and green initiatives, not family drama. At 7, the doorbell rings. Julian stands there with takeout in his arms. His eyes crinkle at the corners. Thought you might want to stay in tonight. You guessed right. I step aside, let him in. Connor got in touch with my investors. Julian sets the food on the counter, his face clouding. That's crossing a line. They didn't fall for it. I grab plates from the cabinet. Turns out, showing up every day matters more than throwing accusations around. Of course it does. Julian starts unpacking the Thai food. Your restraint is impressive, Elara. Most people would have fired back. I shrug, but his words warm me. Fire just makes everything smokier. I want things clear. We eat on the balcony, watching the sunset turn the sky to rose gold. My phone won't stop buzzing. Connor's fiancée now. She wants to clear the air before the wedding. Thanks for watching, and I doing the clear the setter outmaters the wedding. Did you see the comment from Sandra Wexler? Julian asks, topping off my wine. Connor's racing sponsor? No, what did she say? She's rethinking their deal, now that certain things have come out about his character. He raises his eyebrows. Looks like your mother's version of the story got to her, but it backfired. I take a slow sip. I never asked for that. You didn't need to. Truth finds a way out. Night settles over Portland, and my email pings Diane, my business mentor. Proud of you. She's leading a webinar next month on ethics, wants me to do the keynote. Later, while Julian's getting ready to leave, he stops by the door. You know the only reason they're escalating is because they're losing control, right? I nod. I can feel it, cracks starting to show. Your mom called Rachel again, he says, sounding almost amused. Less sure of herself this time. Used the phrase, might have pushed too hard. Something shifts in me, not satisfaction, but vindication. Did she? And I saw your dad at the coffee shop this morning. He seemed thoughtful. Said he wished they'd invested in your company from the start. I lean in the doorway, suddenly tired. 2 years too late for that. Julian squeezes my shoulder. But it's not too late for you to live your truth. After he leaves, I sit on the balcony in the dark, laptop open to Connor's latest group chat rant. She's destroyed this family with her selfishness. Below it, a reply from his fiancée, Maya. Maybe we should all step back and think about what we're asking from her? I close the laptop. Tomorrow will bring more accusations, more attempts to rewrite the past. But tonight, I've learned that silence can be its own kind of strength. Sometimes, the best answer is to keep building while others try to tear things down. Mom's voicemail plays for the third time, her voice all soft edges, rehearsed vulnerability. Elara, sweetheart, I know things are strained. But we're still your parents. Some bonds can't break, even if they stretch. I hit delete, set my phone on the counter. The last of the sunlight spills over the floor, making the wood gleam. Against my better judgment, I reach for the envelope that came yesterday. Heavy cardstock, gold edging. Connor's wedding invitation. Inside, a note. Time for family healing. We miss you. Mom and Dad. My stomach tightens. 3 weeks of this, calls, texts, endless apologies that never quite admit anything. Just yesterday, Connor's fiancée Maya left a voicemail about building bridges before the big day. Is this seat taken? I look up to see Julian in my doorway, coat over his arm, a Pearl Bakery bag in hand. My shoulders drop. Only by ghosts and guilt trips, I say, sliding the invitation across the counter. The latest weapon in the reconciliation campaign. Julian puts down 2 coffees and looks over the invitation. Quite the production. Timberline Lodge wedding? Somebody's parents are feeling generous. Or maybe somebody's sister is supposed to be. I take a grateful sip, dark roast, oat milk, just how I like it. And what about these? Julian nods at the stack of photo albums on the table. New arrivals? FedEx yesterday. Family albums, all the way back to my 5th birthday. Post-it notes marking special memories. I flip one open to a flagged page. This one says, Remember Christmas 1998? You were so excited about the family tradition. Subtle, Julian says, grinning. My phone buzzes again. Connor. Dad's blood pressure's high, he says. Really hoping you'll reconsider coming to the wedding. It means a lot to all of us. Julian catches my look. More health scares? Connor says Dad's blood pressure is up. I set my phone down. Last week it was Mom's migraines. They're getting creative, Julian says, settling onto a kitchen stool. How are you holding up? I trace the rim of my coffee cup, thinking. I keep wondering if I should feel worse about all this. Shouldn't I be wrecked? Crying over photo albums at 2 in the morning? And you're not? I feel tired. Like I'm sitting through a movie I've seen 100 times. I look up at him. Is that cold? Julian thinks for a second, the morning light picking up the silver in his hair. I don't think it's cold. I think it's just clarity. After years of the same thing, you've stopped confusing habit with obligation. I don't want to hate them, I say, almost whispering. Boundaries aren't about hate. They're about health. Julian's voice goes soft. You can forgive someone without going back to how things were. Something shifts inside me, something tight lets go. Forgiveness without restoration. Exactly. You can acknowledge the love that's there while still seeing its limits. Julian sips his coffee. So, what would a healthy relationship with your family even look like? I realize I've never really thought about that. It always felt like an all-or-nothing deal. Either give them everything or cut them off completely. But maybe there's a middle ground I can figure out. Limited contact, I start slow. Meetups in neutral places. No business stuff. Clear ground rules. Everybody treats each other with respect. Julian nods. That sounds fair. But will they go for it? Connor's wedding is soon. The question isn't whether they'll accept it, Julian says. It's whether you'll stick to it, no matter how they react. I sit up a little straighter. I will. That night, with Julian's words still in my head, I sit down and write an email to my family. No accusations. No catalog of old grievances. Just simple, clear boundaries. I lay out the terms for coming to Connor's wedding and how I want things to work from here on out. When I finally hit send, I don't feel like I've escaped. I feel anchored. Like I'm finally steering my own ship. The day of the wedding, I stand in the grand hall at Timberline Lodge, a cold glass of champagne in my hand. The ceremony's over, and now the reception spins around me, relatives I barely know, my parents' friends sizing me up. Julian stands next to me in a charcoal suit, calm as ever. Connor walks over, champagne in hand, his new wife Maya beside him. You made it, he says. He looks surprised, even though we went over this in email. And you brought a date. Julian, I say. Congratulations to both of you. Maya smiles. Thank you for coming, Elara. Your gift was so thoughtful. The leather-bound financial planning book and the check, generous, but not too much, sit with the silver trays and crystal vases. The card says, wishing you a partnership built on mutual support and respect. Love, Elara. Connor shifts. Listen, Elara. About the racing team, Julian's hand touches my waist, just a reminder. We agreed, 3 hours, no business talk. Today is about your marriage, Connor, I say gently. Let's keep it that way. Connor's jaw tightens, but he nods. Right. Of course. He glances at Julian. So, how'd you two meet? Over birthday candles, Julian answers, saving me from explaining that night 2 years ago. We trade a few more words before they drift off to greet other guests. I let out a slow breath. You hanging in? Julian murmurs. Better than I thought I would. I look around. Mom's been circling me for 20 minutes. And right on cue, she appears at my elbow, elegant in blue chiffon, her perfume a cloud of gardenias and expectation. Darling, could I steal you for just a moment? Her smile includes Julian, but really, it shuts him out. Family matters. I meet Julian's eyes. I'll be right back. Mom leads me to a quiet corner near the massive stone fireplace, her hand light but firm on my arm. Once we're alone, her smile fades. You look lovely, Elara, she begins. But your father and we were hurt by that email. Setting terms for coming to your own brother's wedding, it felt cold. I take a careful breath. I needed things to be clear. We're family, she says, like that word should erase everything else. Family supports each other, no matter what. That kind of support has to go both ways, Mom. My voice is steady. I love you. But I've learned to love myself too. There's something in her eyes, a flicker of frustration, maybe, or just the moment she realizes her old tricks don't work on me anymore. Your father and I won't be around forever, you know, she tries one last time. I know, I say, softer now. And when you really need me, I'll be there. But this isn't need. It's entitlement. She just stares at me, my mother, the woman who used to sway me with guilt, and now I don't budge. You've changed, Elara. I have, I admit, but I still love you. I glance at my watch. We've been at this wedding reception for nearly 3 hours. Julian and I should probably head out. I've got an early meeting. Mom opens her mouth to protest, but then, for once, she lets it go. She actually accepts my boundary. I can't believe it. Will you call next week? She asks, her voice smaller than I remember. Sunday afternoon, I promise. 30 minutes, like we agreed. Back in the crowd, I spot Connor across the room, watching us. Our eyes meet. There's no warmth, not yet, but maybe a tiny spark of respect. He lifts his glass in a silent toast recognition, maybe even surrender. Julian finds my hand as we make our way to the door. Ready? He asks. I turn back once, taking it all in, Mom drifting back to Dad, Connor spinning his new bride, relatives and friends caught in their familiar patterns. They'll keep going without me tonight. I'll come back when I'm ready, on my own terms. Yes, I say, squeezing Julian's hand. I'm ready. A year later, birthday candles flicker in my kitchen, lighting up the faces I actually want around me. Julian stands by my side, his shoulder brushing mine, glasses sliding down his nose as he grins. Rachel clinks her glass, red wine catching the light. To choosing your family and your future, she toasts, voice steady and sure. The five of us, just five, but all in for each other, cheer and laugh. My heart swells as I look around. The room hums with easy conversation, real laughter. No empty chairs. No checking my phone every 5 minutes. No forced smiles. Make a wish, Julian whispers, warm breath at my ear. I close my eyes and, for once, I don't know what to wish for. My business just hit a $28 million valuation last quarter. The entrepreneurship book Julian and I wrote sits on the coffee table, gold letters shining. Most important of all, the old ache of family disappointment? Faded. Barely a memory now. I blow out the candles in one big, certain breath. Same restaurant as 3 years ago, Rachel says as she cuts the cake, but the energy's completely different. Different company makes all the difference, I reply and take a plate from her. Later, while everyone's laughing in the living room, I slip away to my study. My leather journal waits where I left it. I run my fingers over today's entry. Love doesn't mean losing yourself. Years of therapy taught me that boundaries aren't walls. They're fences with gates I control. Now, my family and I get along. I go to holiday dinners when it feels right. Connor brings his wife. My parents ask about my business, but they don't try to run it. We've found our balance. I can love them and still keep my peace. The doorbell rings. Leah stands there, clutching a notebook, one of the 5 entrepreneurs I mentor through my foundation. Sorry to crash your party, she says, twisting her hands. I just got offered a partnership with my dad's business, but I want to build my own thing. I don't know how to tell him. I invite her in. Family business pressure? She nods, looking down. He's invested so much. I feel guilty. Obligation and love are 2 different currencies, I tell her, pouring coffee. One drains you. The other fills you up. As I help Leah untangle her father's dreams from her own, I realize how far I've come. I used to pay off my brother's car loan without a word. Now I show other women how to stand up for themselves. Last month, on a talk show, I said, forgiving someone doesn't mean letting them hurt you again. The words hit home for thousands. People wrote to say those words helped them break free from old patterns. In the kitchen, Julian lights a candle on the last slice of cake. We blow it out together, hands intertwined on the counter. Our book, dedicated to anyone who feels alone at those big crossroads, has already helped so many people see their own worth. Do you ever wish they'd shown up that birthday years ago? Julian asks, thinking back to the night we met. I shake my head, a real smile tugging at my lips. No, because if things had gone differently, I never would have met the man who showed me that kindness can show up anywhere, even from someone you don't know. Later, we're out on my balcony, watching the sunset spill gold and amber over the city. The lights start to pop on, one here, one there, like little stars in the middle of all that concrete and glass. Julian shows up with 2 glasses of Malbec, just like the wine I ordered on that night that changed everything. Regrets about your journey? He asks, passing me a glass. I take a sip and let the flavor settle. Funny how a lonely birthday can turn into the first taste of freedom and maybe the start of something good. The wine feels like a celebration now, not loneliness. When the city finally goes dark, I get it. Those birthday candles that used to flicker on their own now light the way ahead, with people around me who actually want to be here, not just showing up out of duty.